Okay, so we're just going to get really comfortable in our chairs and just come in and focus on the breath. And I bought my little amethyst today with me just to help us with our focus. And this is a really nice healing crystal, so it's nice to just bring that into our meditation today, just to sound out healing, because I've got a few people that actually are poorly at the minute, so it'd be nice just to think of them as well, actually. So I'm going to get really, really comfortable in my chair, and I have got my feet flat on the floor and my legs aren't crossed, and I have my hands just sitting loosely in my lap, but you can have them hanging down by your side, whatever is comfortable for you. And we're just going to start thinking about relaxing our shoulders and just letting go of any tension, and just coming into this space where we are right now in this moment. And I'm just going to take a deep breath in, and I'm just going to let that go. And I'm just going to do that again. Deep breath in. And just let that go. And now just breathe in your normal rhythm, just in and out. Just focusing where we are right now in this moment, and just let go. So we're just centering ourselves, bringing our awareness to where we are right now. And I want you just to imagine for a moment, as we start this visualization, that you can see around you, about 2 feet outside your body, a cylinder. And it is clear, totally transparent. And you can see through it in all directions. And the temperature inside the cylinder is perfect for you. And you can just breathe normally. And for the moment, I would like you to feel the power of the cylinder enveloping you, keeping you safe, and allowing you to let go of any stress or worries that you may have, and bringing you to a place of calm where you are feeling totally relaxed. Just breathing normally in your natural rhythm. And concentrating on the cylinder, I want you to see that it stretches downwards into the earth, deep, deep into the earth. And as you look upwards, you can see that it stretches endlessly upwards through the sky and up, up into the universe. As you move, the cylinder moves with you. Even as you walk through crowded places, the cylinder stays with you. And you can release any heaviness or anything that is troubling you down through the cylinder and into the earth. And the earth will receive it from you, taking it away, allowing you to just let it go. And when you are ready, bring your awareness above your head and just feel as you look up, up, and through the cylinder that you are really making a deep connection with yourself. And allow whatever you need right now to come to you. Maybe you will feel a sense of peace washing over you, a calmness. Perhaps you will receive some thoughts, a message from your inner self. Maybe nothing specific, but just rest in this place of your consciousness and feel the connection from high up in the cylinder, coming down to you through the cylinder and into the earth, providing you with stability and calm. We will stay with the safety of our cylinder for a few moments more, just breathing normally, staying relaxed. Just coming back to the breath. We're going to take a deep breath in. And out. Take another deep breath in. And out. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and allow the cylinder to dissolve. And you can carry on with your day, knowing that at any time you can return to the process whenever you feel the need to. Ooh. Right. Sorry, the next door neighbor decided to do angle grind, and just as we were starting our meditation. So hopefully it didn't disturb you too much, because I went into the other room with the headphones, so I hope that the noise came with me, and I left the noise behind and you weren't disturbed by it. I'm gonna tap my toes, wiggle my fingers, do a little boogie, and have a drink of water. Oh dear, timing. So, is everybody okay? So I am going to do a border on my tangle today. So I'm going to start with the 4 dots, 1 in each corner, and then I'll draw my line. So I'm going to do a light line because I think I might have some kind of, crossover today. So I don't want it to be a really heavy border. I just want it to be very light, because as I say, I might actually end up with some things kind of crossing over it. So there is a bit of a border there. We're quite light there, aren't we? See if I get my little black board, if it makes a difference. It's just quite light. Let's just have a look, see if that makes a difference. Just makes it more white. Camera's going, what? Okay, so I think it's better without. No, whatever. Okay, for contrast. So the first thing I'm going to do is start with a pattern that is called Arukas. And this is a pattern that we've done in the past. But it's a very straightforward pattern, but we're going to have to really focus. So it starts, and I'm just going to kind of start with an orb. And let's see if I adjust my brightness on here, will it help? A little bit. And then I'm going to have some radiating lines coming from this. Okay, so there's going to be 2 lines that are going to basically come out this way. Okay, and then I'm going to have 2 lines. It's basically 5 lines that we're going to have in total. So I'm going to have 2 lines coming out here. Trying to work out where I'm going to go with this. I might actually do, before I do, I'm going to just do a string down just to kind of bump into. So I'm going to come 1, 2, 3. 4. 5. Okay, I have to really focus on that. Okay, so I've got my 5 lines. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw a little arc, like a circle, as if I'm drawing a circle now going all the way around. Okay, so we're just going to come around and we're going to draw a circle. Okay, and then I'm going to Now, make sure you know which line you're starting at. So I'm going to start at this short one here on the right. And I'm going to aura my lines. So I'm going to aura all of my lines. And just really take your time when you're drawing those lines radiating out. Just nice and slowly. Just focus on that mark that you're making right now. So just working your way around the pattern back to that first aura that you did. And when you get back round to where you were before, you're going to start by doing another little circle. It's going to follow round. Okay. So I'm going to come round. Like that. And then we're going to start our aura again. And your aura can be thick, thin lines, whatever you want. That is your choice. You can make your lines as close together or as far apart as you wish. We're just going to work our way around. Okay. Working our way around. Just drawing those lines. Focusing on the mark that you're making. Just in this moment. And just take your time. Right. Can see, I think I'm back to the start again, actually. Yep, back to the start again. So I'm gonna, very easy to lose track. So I'm gonna just do my little circle. And then probably if I started at the same one each time, it'd help. Let's go and do those lines. Okay. And then I'm back to doing my circle. And then back to doing my lines. And this is a pattern that you can just carry on and do the lines and the patterns until the whole page is filled. But that isn't what I want to do today. So I'm going to just do a little circle round there. Just, yeah, I'm going to stop there actually because that's sort of the kind of meet up. So I'm kind of going to have mine so that I'm not filling in the whole space. So I'm going to just leave it as that. So like a starburst kind of style, basically, is what I'm thinking. And then what I'm going to do is kind of coming off the bottom of where my little sort of lines are coming out. I'm going to start to have some poke roots, but I'm going to kind of draw them a little bit differently. So I'm going to kind of have them like an extension of the lines, but just slightly off center, kind of bumping in. I'm going to imagine that there's one coming out behind. Okay. And then I'm going to have another line coming up and out. And then imagine where that's going to go. Okay. And then I'm going to have another one coming up. And just fill in that space. Just this particular space here with little poke roots. And this is your drawing, so you can have as many or as little. You can draw them as big or as small as you wish. This is your drawing. Okay, so I'm just going to have lines coming up and then imagining where they might stop and where my poke root might take shape. And it's bumping underneath. I'm kind of having them just radiating out, just following the same sort of symmetry, because I'm doing the lines like the lines that I've got here, because I wanted to kind of fall into place in terms of the art. Okay. And I'll just actually have a little one here. Just filling that space. So the lights got really bad. I just darken that down a little bit because it's really, really dark. Or sorry, really, really light. Sorry. I don't know why that's got so bad. Just see if I'll move it around a bit if it's not happening. Sorry. I think that's better for now. Sorry about that, just to try and so that you can see it. Okay, so I've got my little poke roots on that side. And then over here, on this one, I'm just going to create a little grid. And we'll just close this edge off. Okay, so I'm just going to have one colored in. Just firming that up. And I'm just in Knightsbridge. And I'm going to do just along this edge here, I'm going to do some really big Printemps. So a really large kind of shape of the swirl. And quite big in terms of the size. And come over. Okay. I'm just filling the spaces with just smaller ones. And then this one, I'm just going to put some orbs. So just and then I'm just going to do some wiggly lines. Just between those, one maybe there. And then just follow those lines. Just aura. Just aura in the space. And on this bit, I'm just going to do lines and little lines, just as if that pattern had carried on. I'm just going to do lines, a little half circle, kind of just aura that out. Until you just fill that space. And just with our little pattern, we can highlight this. So if I just color in the first circle, we can kind of make this stand out as well. So just kind of skipped one, move to the next one. So just follow that. And just colouring behind my Pokeroot, so just that top line there. You always have to really focus when you're colouring in behind your Pokeroots, that you don't actually just end up colouring in one of the actual Pokeroots. That happens sometimes. I'm just going to come down and do swap over to my thicker pen, I think. All right. So now I'm going to take my pencil and do some shading, and starting with the Pokeroot, I'm going to just give them that little shadow just on one side, so just that little C-shape kind of idea just on one side, and then where they meet and cross over each other, if you just add another little bit of pencil there as well, so just any that are touching, you know, there's a crossover, just add a little bit more pencil to that bit as well. And then I'm going to come in and just blend that. And you can really pull that pencil, you know, you can make it go like halfway over the whole of that Pokeroot. But just remember that you want to leave some white space. Okay, that's the most important thing, that yes, we're adding and we're blending out, but we want to make sure that there's always some white left. And in some of these, we're going to be shading, you know, quite a lot. Like this one, I've got some shade here and here, but I've still left white just in that center bit there. So I'm really, really sorry about the noise. So here as well, I'll come in again and just add a little bit, because this has got the natural shade on the one side, but it's also touching another one. And like before, Just bringing in that, oh, there's one I haven't shaded out. That one, like before, you can also come in and just add some rounding. And the rounding is only on the side where you've added that extra bit of shade. Oops, Daisy, run away. Paper stump there. So just come in and just add a little bit just where they are crossing over. And you could add a little bit just on that edge as well. And here. And that's rounding. Okay, that's what we're doing. We're rounding just where they touch. And that is just providing a little bit more definition. And it is just the breadth of the nib of your pen, really. That's all that is. And again, where the Aruka is touching my Pokeroot and my Pokeroot underneath, I'm just going to add a little bit of blend in there too along that. So there'll be some at the top and some along the side. Okay, and the most important thing is leave some white. And just be careful going over the black when you're shading. It's quite awkward sometimes when you've got a lot of black on the tile and you're using your paper stump. And you can just come down just very lightly one side of the stem as well. So I'm just putting a very, very fine line of graphite down there. Okay, and that will be a little bit tricky to blend up. I'm just going to do it very, very carefully because obviously you've got a lot of black ink on the tile as well. Just pull that out just a little bit. Okay, but I've still got a nice little white space on those. And if you want, you can come in and add some little decals. I'm just going to add some little decals with my pencil rather than my pen. So I'm just going to add a little bit where I've added that shade, and I'm just going to add a few little decals just with my pencil, just to create some interest on those. So just like a little soft blush really with the pencil. And then I'm going to move on to my Knightsbridge. And again, I'm just going to do like a little L shape on the white squares. So just one side and up, one side. Okay. And that's just to lift it so that it doesn't look so flat. You know, it's not just the black and the white. And my orb here that's in the center, if I just come around that, it's gonna leave a white center and just come around. You're kind of nearly making it like a pearl or a gem. So you're adding depth around the outside of it and leaving the center so that it's nice and white. And don't be afraid to add more. So you can just come in and add a little bit more. But just make sure that you leave that white center. Okay. Thing is, you can always add more, but it's with the no eraser in Zentangle, it's a little bit difficult if you wanted to take some away. Not impossible, because there's no rules at the end of the day. If you want to use an eraser, you can. There's nobody gonna, the eraser police aren't gonna come and stop you. And I'm gonna just come down the side of these little sort of points here. I'm gonna try and get these to sort of pop a little bit more. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of pencil just along the edge of those and just kind of bring that out a little bit. Bring that out a little bit there. Bring that out a little bit. Bring that out a little bit. And kind of this is the bit that I want to pop. And then I'll do the same on the other side. So just add some pencil and kind of bring that down to the edge. Some pencil on both sides, basically, just to make it look like you've got a sort of cylinder shape there. You know, it's like little discs that have formed there. So that will make that really kind of start to pop off the page too. Just that simple adding of that pencil line will really make a difference. Okay, so now this center bit, the black and white star shape, is really what is popping off the page, which is what I wanted to happen. And that's all part and parcel of your little piece of art. What do you want to be the most striking thing when somebody looks at this? And in using your shading, that's how you can create, you know, attraction to a particular part of your tile. So my little, I'm going to leave the lines for now. And my little circles here, I'm also going to just come round and just draw. I'm going to leave the centers white and just sort of come around and draw an edge to them. And I'll also kind of just darken down around this one there as well, actually. And I'll just go along the edge of that, because it's kind of like this kind of arm of the machine, as it were, is kind of spilling out something here into the little pool. So I'm going to just go around the edge of that to create depth. So I want this to be darker. Okay. And again, I'm going to do the same here. I'm just going to sort of color in these two end ones. And just pull that out a little bit. Just add a little bit more on my Pokeroots. And this one that's over here will probably be actually quite darkened down because it's really buried under the Printemps. So I'm going to come along the edge. And I really want to make the bottom layer of my Printemps quite dark because they're kind of underneath. And also that make it dark to say that there's a drop. As such, so you're again looking down into something. I'll just pull out that pencil there. And I've immediately got like depth there where I'm looking down now into that just by adding that line of pencil there and here, darkening this down. You've immediately got, oh, I'm looking down a hole. So now I'm going to add some pencil to just again, like we did in the Pokeroots, where there is two crossing over each other. You want to give depth that there's some on top and some below. So the way to do that is by adding the graphite. So you're adding your pencil and then blending it out. And you're going to get that distinction then in terms of what's above and what's below. If I can make my lines, I'll stop them there, I've noticed. Gonna come to an end, just bring that round maybe. Those things probably should have left it rather than doing that. Add some shade there. Round that off a little bit. Mm-hmm. Right, then I'm just going to come in and add some rounding on my top. So again, rounding is just adding just a pen width of extra ink, really, just where they are. And over the top of another one. I haven't even added any shade on this side to do that. Come back and do the rounding in a second on that one. And you can be quite heavy with your pencil. So these ones at the very bottom are going to be really dark. Again, some rounding there. And here. Just where they're crossing over. I think I might even come along here and just picking that line up as well. Because there's a lot of shading gone on there, and there's a lot of graphite that's gone down there. And again, just by thickening that up. So I'm going to come in again, and I'm just going to add a little bit more to my star shape. I'm just going to bring that out a little bit more. Just kind of just where those kind of arms are coming out. Just going to thicken up my pencil and blend that out a little bit further. And then that's obviously going to have a little bit of a effect there because that's gone over the top. And then I'm just going to come down both sides. And add shade to my edges, but leaving that white flash in the middle. Just the edges, really. So that you've got this kind of flash of white on the top. Slightly wider over the side as well, just, okay. And then I'm just going to come in and go around the whirligig bit of my Printemps. So I'm going to do a little whirligig. So I will, if I need to, I'll add a little bit of pencil. I'll just kind of add a little bit of I'll just add a little bit of pencil on that just to emphasize the twirl. And just blend it out ever so small. It's not a huge amount, but it just is going to give it a little bit more depth by adding that. Just again, it's bringing that flat one-dimensional shape and trying to make it look a little bit more three-dimensional just by adding that extra little bit of pencil. So then I'm going to just come in. So this one. And just blend that out. Okay. So once you're happy, look, I'm just turning it around in all the directions. And if you've lost color because of your shading, you can go back in. So like on the original circle there, you just gently go around, because that's had a lot of shading now. And you can just go over that. And if any of your kind of black coloring has got lost in the graphite, just reaffirm it. Okay, so you can just go over that, and then that will create that greater pop. Okay, so when I look at this, I've got the lovely star gem, and then I've got my Knightsbridge really popping off, and then you've got more broken up with your Pokeroot and your whirligigs for Tom, in terms of giving you the white space. But they're quite defined because they're quite big cinnamon buns, aren't they? So choose a space to pop your little signature down. So if you can find a little spot that you kind of think, oh yeah, that's just going to be perfect for popping my initials, and do that. Just going to have a wee look around and see where I can just make it a little bit of the end of that Aruka, put my initials on there. And as always, if you can hold your tile at arm's length and really appreciate that, when we hold it at arm's length, you can really see that line there. Okay. And then we'll turn it over and we shall pop. Today is the 6th of April. So you can pop your name. And it's the 6th of April, 2023. And we have Aruka, which is that big sort of star shaped one. Pokeroot. Nipa, which was the little orbs with the squiggly lines. Knightsbridge. Oh, and Printemps. So I'll leave that there for a second so you can copy those down. And then we'll have a check to see how you get on.